Hey y'all, good morning. So we're reading about the Shunammite woman and how Elisha, the man of God, she realized he was the man of God, and so she made a place where he could be taken care of, where he could rest. And his reward for her, his gift to her was he prophesied that she would have a son the next year. All right, and she said, don't lie to me. You remember that? And so we're in 2 Kings 4, and let's start in verse 17. But the woman conceived and bore a son at that season the following year, as Elisha said to her. And when the child had grown, he went out one day to his father with the reapers. But he said to his father, my head, my head. The man said to his servant, carry him to his mother. And when he was brought to his mother, he sat on her knee till noon, and then he died. And she went up, laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door upon him, and went out. And she called to her husband and said, send me one of the servants and one of the donkeys, that I may go quickly to the man of God, and come back again. And he said, why go to him today? It is neither the new moon nor the Sabbath. And she said, it will be all right. Then she saddled the donkey and said to her servant, ride fast. Do not slacken your pace for me unless I tell you. So when she set out and came to the man of God at Mount Carmel, when the man of God saw her afar off, he said to Gehazi his servant, behold, yonder is that Shunammite. Run to meet her and say, is it well with you, well with your husband, well with the child? And she answered, it is well. When she came to the mountain, to the man of God, she clung to his feet. And Gehazi thrust her away, but the man of God said, let her alone, for her soul is bitter and vexed within her. The Lord has hid it from me and has not told me. Then she said, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, gird up your loins and take my staff in your hand, and go lay my staff on the face of the child. If you meet any man, do not salute him. If he salutes you, do not answer. The mother of the child said, as the Lord lives and as my soul lives, I will not leave you. So Elisha arose and followed her. Gehazi passed before them and laid the staff on the child's face. But the boy neither spoke nor heard. So he went back to meet Elijah and said to him, the child has not awakened. When Elijah arrived at the house, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. So he went in, shut the door on the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. He went up and lay on the child, put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands, and stretched himself out and embraced the child. And his flesh became warm. Then he returned and walked the house to and fro, and went up again and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and then opened his eyes. Then Elisha called Gehazi and said, call the Shunammite. So he called her. And when she came, he said, take up your son. She came and fell at his feet, bowing herself to the ground. Then she took up her son and went out. Y'all, talk about a calm, well-balanced mind and a spirit of self-control. So this Shunammite woman, right, has determined to bless the man of God with a place to stay, his room, his house, so on. And then he determines that he wants to bless her in return. So, a son. But this is not a request that she's asked for, right? This is just something that the prophet feels would be a blessing to her. She has no children. Her husband is old. So he says, a son is a good thing. Interesting notes all the way through. You know, a couple of years ago, my mom's sister and I did like a month study on, or discussion on this story alone. It was great. We probably need to do that again. But when the child was out with his father in the field, of course, he begins to feel ill. Interesting that the husband, the father, says, take him to his mother, right? Take him to his mother. And I think there's a whole there's probably a whole nother week in that. But when the mama gets him, she holds him and he dies. And this mother is sitting there with a gift that she did not ask for that is now dead. And she says, oh no, this is not the promise of God. Oh, that's powerful. Knowing the difference between Satan trying to steal and the manifestation of the promise of God is big. Ooh, we'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.